Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today I'm going to be talking about a film for the second time in a row because my last recording was 12 minutes and it did not save. So, this is second take. I hope you're ready for that. I know there's normally zero planning, but this is a little bit of planning because I already went over this film. Anyway, day 2 of 31 Days of Horror. Yesterday, we talked Pumpkin Man Lives. Today, we talk about another Pumpkin Man. Not from Bruce Longo or David the Rock Nelson. Instead, we were talking about a new Pumpkin Man from director Ryan Sheets and Scream Team releasing The Pumpkin Man. I pre-ordered this a little while back. It was one of my most hyped releases of the year for me personally. I want to get this out of the way at the beginning. I did really enjoy this film. It's a good movie. You should watch it. But I did find it disappointing, so this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I have more critiques than normal. But anyway, we'll get into that. I'm going to be doing what I like, what I disliked, and, I'll give my Letterboxd review at the end, just so you can, get an idea. Anyway, so, what is this about? The small, sleepy town of Cromwell is haunted by the legend of Kerbis, the demon of fall, the titular Pumpkin Man. And he's, the film starts. Kerbis is running, after this witch, sorceress, whatever, and she banishes him. Typical demonic Halloween movie stuff. And of course, hundreds of years later, stupid teenagers, as always, a group of stupid teenagers accidentally summon him back, and he unleashes havoc. And yeah, not much to really say about the initial plot about this one. I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is not a film. I could spoil this and you wouldn't be surprised. We'll put it that way. This is not a film that I would say is full of twists and turns or unpredictable. It's just a very straightforward little Halloween movie. So first off, just want to talk about what I like here. And a little bit more on the premise. It's a group of, as always, teenagers, a group of teenage friends that accidentally summon this, and they all have to work together to stop this thing. Anyway, things that I like about this. The gore in this, surprisingly, is really good when it happens. And I'll explain why surprisingly, and the dislikes in a little bit here. You'll see what I mean. This film has some really surprisingly gnarly kills, especially towards the end. When Kerbis, this demon that's back, is kind of unleashing havoc and, piercing, organ tearing, nasty, grody, gory stuff. That is very fun. I like Kerbis himself. I don't like his name. I think the name is a little silly, but that's a personal thing, so I'm not even including that in dislikes or anything. I thought it was silly. Because they say Kerbis a lot, and by the 100th time they say it, Kerbis is... You chuckle a little bit. At least I did. But I do like the design. It reminded me a lot of Scream Team releasing's other popular Barn. The Barn and its sequel. With the mask and everything. He's very tall and, imposing. Kind of looks like a mix of a scarecrow and, a jack-o'-lantern. But, more human... more human looking. So I really liked that. Long figure... Yeah. Really cool monster design. Definitely feels like they're trying to make a new horror icon. I don't think necessarily this will be that, but I do like the creature design a lot. I'd like to see Kerbis in future films, whether it be a Pumpkin Man 2 or, in another film. I do think the character is fleshed out enough to be that. I really think it has the look and the feel down. The atmosphere of the film in general was pretty good. At times, it is a little bit off, but we'll get into that in dislikes, but it has the feel, for the most part, of a fall Halloween movie. This movie is very heavy on the time of the year's influence. There are movies that really feel like Halloween, like Trick or Treat, All Hallows Eve, stuff like that. This is one of those. Like, it bleeds Halloween spirit, which I always appreciate. Um, and it feels like a Goosebumps episode for adults a lot of the time, which is both a good and a bad thing. I think that's going to lead us into the dislikes here, but last thing on the good there is that Goosebumps vibe captures the Halloween spirit really well. And it's really fun, and it makes you, it has like a nostalgic feeling to it without feeling overpowering. And another thing that adds to that is the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack in this is really good. Um, Creepy parts are more effective because of it. The more, the rest of the film, for lack of a term that I can think of at the moment, um, is more exciting because of it as well. I think there is a lot of good atmosphere due to the music, like parts with like surrealistic, haunting type of things, I think work really well. But yeah, moving on to the dislikes. The elephant in the room for me is that the acting in this is not good at all. Like, really not good. And you might be saying, well, you review shot on video movies and B movies and all this stuff, and acting in those is terrible. Like, how do you criticize it in this? The difference is that the acting in this feels just very reeled in. Like, it's not bad enough to be funny or entertaining. It's just really poor. Like, the writing is not great. The characters don't feel. You definitely feel like there's somebody just reading lines, and I don't know. I feel like the characters, a lot of them are just annoying as well, and you don't really like them. I especially think the final girl in this was extremely grating. That's not a jab at the actress whatsoever. I just think that the writing is not great. The dialogue is really not good. It feels like the dialogue was written by somebody that works on a Disney Channel movie or a show. Um, so like take that like weird like 12-year-olds talking to each other dialogue, except add in the occasional fuck, and that's what you get. It's not great. A lot of it is cringy, and I didn't care for that. That's the major thing for me. But I feel like on the flip side, the annoying characters when they die is more satisfying. Um, it won't bother some people as much, but I don't know. I don't like it very much. Um, I think the atmosphere and stuff of that is affected as well. Like, the darker moments don't have as much impact because you don't like the characters as much, or at least in my case. And I think the writing was bad. So, like, there'll be something spooky happening and they don't have anything to say except, like, very, like, on the nose dialogue. It is not my favorite. I think the pacing on occasion can be a little off as well. It does feel like it drags a little bit, and it's a fairly short movie. And even then, it still feels like it drags at times until we get to the end. Like, it feels like there are spurts of action, and then there's like more drawn out periods of just nothing. But yeah, in the scheme of things, relatively minor because Kerbis. I mean, I went into this wanting a cool monster and cool kills, and that's what you get. So in that way, this film is a success. Is it perfect? By no means. But it is well worth a watch, especially for this season. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, if that's any indication. It's a good movie. It just has, some things worth mentioning. I do recommend picking this up, especially for this time of year. I'm definitely going to be watching this again next year for the Halloween season. Just maybe not like multiple times a year, or maybe every couple of years. It's a good movie to watch with friends with some pizza and beer. One of those. But yeah, pick it up. And as always, I've been your host, Herschel Gillis. That was it for today on day 2 of 31 Days of Horror. Signing off. Zero thoughts, zero editing, zero brain cells, and zero planning. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on. And obviously, shout out to Sick on Cinema, my friends over there. Go buy their merch and look out for their stuff. I never really shout out people at the end here, but I was just wearing the shirt and thought about that, so go do that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.